So I'm like berries on berries. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna be doing my January favorites. So if you wanna hear what you could take from my favorites and hopefully make your own, then stay tuned because we're gonna jump right in. And I really hope that you guys like this and you get some from it. Something from it, because I got a lot to talk about. So Bowser, I know he wants to hear. Right, Bowser? All right. I hope you enjoy this. Today, I'm really excited because not only do I have a lot of stuff that I want to show you guys and share with you guys that I have been loving. I'm gonna show items, but then I want to talk about a couple of things too. I have my favorite YouTuber of the month. I have my favorite lesson of the month because I kind of want to talk about some of the stuff that I learned last month. And also, I want to talk about my favorite shows and my favorite habit of the month because Dan and I actually integrated a new habit into our life this month that has already been game-changing for us that I want to share with you guys because I think that you will really like it and I think it's going to help some of you out a lot. If you want to stay tuned through all of the products, just to give you a little bit of a heads up, I am going to be talking about judgment. There is a lot going on right now, not only in America, but in the rest of the world. And I feel like a lot of it centers around judging other people. And I've just been reflecting on that a lot. So I want to talk about that at the end as well. But a couple of other things before we dive right in. Although I always say that, like a couple of other things, but I feel like all of my little intro lead-ins are part of the video as well. So first off, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, if you would like to become a subscriber of my channel, I would love it. You can click this button right here. And that way you will receive my videos in your inbox when I upload. Although along that same line, I kind of pause because what you'll really want to do is if you want to receive notifications of when I upload, press that little bell button down below my face in this video player. And that way you really will get a notification every time I upload. And apparently with the way that YouTube is working now, it's really important that you hit that bell button if you do want to see my videos. And then of course, I will have all of my social media stuff linked down below as well. I am on Instagram, which is always a favorite of mine. I've been an Instagram like lover for so long. So I will have my Instagram down below. I'll have my Snapchat, which I don't use Snapchat as much like all of the time to update, but I do snap back and forth with you guys. That is one of my favorite things to do is to get videos from you guys. I love watching them and seeing your faces. And then the other thing I wanted to tell you guys about is that this month, and this is kind of like almost if we want to segue into like my first favorite, this kind of is my first favorite of the month, and that is purging. And let me explain what I mean by purging. What I mean by purging is like stuff. Dan and I have spent the last couple of weeks of our life pretty much just purging from our house. I had read a long time ago The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, and I had started to enact some of the principles that Marie, I think her name is Marie Kondo, talks about in that book. And in that book, she talks about how when you're cleaning stuff out, there's a couple like main principles. One is she says you want to go category by category. So as opposed to room by room, it's like, okay, I'm going to do all of my clothes. Okay, I'm going to do all of my beauty products and bathroom stuff. Okay, I'm gonna do all of my mementos, and you work by category as opposed to room by room, and you only keep things that either spark joy or sometimes you have things it's like maybe it's not the most joyous, but it's like you have to use it all of the time. And that's what we've been doing. And in the past when I've done it, I've only gotten through a couple of categories and then I've stopped. But this month, my goal has been to go through our entire house. And we are still in that process, but we have been making headway every single day. And point being with all of that, there's a couple of points. The first point is I discovered 2 items in my house that I actually decided I wanted to give to you guys for my January favorites as just like a little giveaway. Thanks for being part of the fam. Someone's gonna love these because I was in love with them. And these 2 items that I'm going to be giving away, I will have all of the rules down below. It's actually really easy. You just click the link down there and I use a giveaway generator, which is completely random, but that's a side note. But let me just tell you, the first thing that I am giving away with in this video, these would have been just like in my favorites as like just a favorite product of mine if they fit, but they don't fit. So they've never actually been worn out of the house. They're basically brand new. And they are these crystal slip-on tennis shoes by Vince Camuto. Guys, How freaking amazing are these? I mean, they're like kind of like shoes for a 12-year-old, but also I will eternally be a 12-year-old at heart. And I think that they're super sophisticated looking too. Like when I bought these, the way that I pictured wearing them was with like an all black outfit and then like my crystal shoes and my huge sunglasses and like my big, like maybe my denim jacket or just all entirely black, like I said. I love them so much, but I actually ordered the first size. Like this is the second pair I've had. I ordered them. I had to return them because I thought that since they were the wrong size, like, oh, they didn't fit, I just need a bigger size. But I got them. Nope, my feet are just too fat. So if you have really wide feet, you might not want to enter this contest. But just so you know, these are a size 9. They do run a little bit smaller, so they're not maybe the typical size 9, but they're still too, they were still a little too long for me. I'm typically an 8.5, and they were not wide enough, but someone I know is going to love these. Like I said, I never wore them out of the house. And then the other item that I'm giving away as well is this Tiffany's necklace, and these will be 2 separate giveaways. So if you want just one item, just enter one giveaway. If you want to be entered to both items, enter both giveaways. But this Tiffany necklace I've had for a few years now. I want to say like 7 years. And the reason I'm getting rid of it is because I've kept it for a few years in my closet simply because it's Tiffany's and it's nice. And I've realized that I haven't actually worn this in years. And there's someone out there who will not only think it's nice and pretty and all of that, but who will actually wear it. So that is what I'm doing. I'm giving away these 2 items in my favorites video to really say thank you to my ultimate favorites, which everybody cue the cornball alert, is you guys. I've been really excited to give these away for the last few weeks leading up to this video. And actually the shoes I've been excited to give away for a while because I got them in the beginning of like December, and I knew once they didn't work, I'm like, I'm gonna give these away because someone is gonna love these because I never see shoes like this. They're so unique and so cool. Next favorite, I actually wasn't planning on going in this order, but I feel like this is a perfect segue for that. Since I was talking about the cleaning and all of that, is onto my favorite YouTuber. So let me just preface this by saying I have a lot of favorite YouTubers. There are so many YouTubers on the internet that I love. I'm discovering new YouTubers all of the time, and a lot of YouTubers that I have a lot of like deep respect for, like almost to a creepy level. But I have saved the slot for a YouTuber that I just found this month, and I have fallen in love with her. And I feel like, you know, this is true about everyone that I ever say that I like, because I like a lot of people, and I like a lot of people's like productions and shows and books and podcasts and channels. It doesn't mean that I necessarily fully agree with them on everything they say all of the time, but there is something about that person that I really love. Like whenever I'm talking about someone, it's like, have you guys ever heard the saying? I feel like I'm giving a really unneeded precedence. Like I'm making her sound like she's got all these like really intense opinions, which is not the case, but I just feel like I always have to give this disclaimer when I shout out to any type of book, show, or movie is, you know, eat the fish, spit out the bones. Take the things that you love from someone or something, or you learn, and you can just leave the rest, and it's okay. So that being said, like I said, kind of a weird disclaimer because she's just really awesome, but there's a few things I'm gonna be shouting out in this favorites video that that's just how I feel about everything. So her name on YouTube is Love Meg, and if you've never seen Meg's videos, I guess you would qualify her as a lifestyle YouTuber, because just like me, she kind of just makes whatever videos she wants to make about whatever she's into in her life at the time. But the reason why I felt like that was a really good segue to her was because a huge chunk of her videos are cleaning videos. And Meg lives in the South. I believe she lives in North Carolina, and the only reason I know that is because that's racing country, and Dan and I will probably be visiting North Carolina a lot in the next upcoming years because he is into NASCAR. If you didn't know that, Dan is actually a NASCAR driver in the Can-Am Pro Series. If you don't know who Dan is my husband. Anyways, back to Meg. Meg lives in North Carolina, and she is a Southern chick at heart, and she's a Christian, and she's been married to her husband for, I think she said like 7 years, and she's got 2 kids, a little girl and a little boy, and she is so cute. And the reason why I have fallen in love with Meg this month, besides the fact that she makes all of these cleaning videos, which were so inspirational and motivational to me while I was cleaning, but the other reason is because I love seeing people who are living a different type of lifestyle than I am and seeing the joy in their life. And something that I have seen in Meg's videos that I think maybe this isn't lacking. Maybe this is just me being like an Angelino and having my head in like Los Angeles life. But I feel like sometimes there is not enough joy represented or shown for the women who stay home with their children. I feel like sometimes it's painted as just, and I know it's like the hardest job ever, but sometimes I feel like it's just painted as the hardest job ever, and that's it. And the joy is left out. And I think that Meg does a really great job of highlighting and showing and living in the joy that exists, or I would imagine, I don't have kids, but exists within raising her children and being her husband's companion and taking care of her home and building up a home that she's happy with and that her children can enjoy and her husband enjoys. And I love hearing like her perspective and thought process around those things when she's pulling her home together. One thing that she says is the way that she keeps the motivation to keep her house pulled together and bright and exciting and happy and decorated is because she really believes that her children and her husband deserve the best, and she wants to give them the best. And I think like coming from Los Angeles, I already know that some people could maybe see that as like kind of old school, like oppressive women thinking, but I don't see that way. I see it as another facet of life that is so full of joy, and everybody is called to different things. And I was just really inspired by her and her lifestyle and all of that. So that was a very long rant about Meg. I don't know, Meg, if you'll ever see this, but hey girl, I really like you and you really inspired me to clean my house, and I just love her. So I will have her channel linked down below. You should definitely check her out. And yeah, just go show her some love. And if you do go over to her channel, be sure to tell her that I sent you, in hopes that she'll see me one day and want to be my YouTube friend. She's so cute. So, and I might get to meet her one day because I'll be going to North Carolina at some point. Right, Meg? She's like, girl, I have no interest in meeting you. All right, so next up on my list, I'm gonna move into some more, some of the products. And the first product right here, I feel like I didn't do a very good job of making this a big deal because it actually is a really big deal and I'm really excited, but life just kind of got away from me and I forgot to really tell you guys, which I know sounds, whoa, I just bit my lip. That was awkward. Anyways, which I know sounds really weird that I forgot, but I did. But this last month, I actually collaborated with Birchbox to create my own lip color, which is crazy. And this is it right here. It's part of their LOC line. I feel like it looks really weird with me just like holding it like that, but this is part of their LOC line, which stands for Love of Color. And I was one of 3 influencers online who got to create a color. So it was me and 2 other bloggers, and one is named Kate and one is named Courtney. And I actually didn't know of either of them before this collaboration, but they are both so cute. And I feel like the little trio of us like fit really well together for this rollout. And so when they came to me and they asked me like, what color would you like to design? What color do you feel like is missing? Or what color do you feel like you wish you could make? And I was like, look, the one color that I love for lipstick, like I'm obsessed with, is like a berry mauve-y kind of color. I feel like it's really flattering on a lot of skin tones, and especially on my skin with my pale skin and my dark hair. I feel like when I wear, is it getting really bright now? The sun is coming out. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Anyways, when I wear that color, I feel like I can wear it with full-on makeup and look like glam and put together, but I feel like I can also wear it with 0 makeup, like when I go to the gym, even though I haven't been to the gym in months, but you get what I'm saying. If I go to the gym or I go out with no makeup and it doesn't look weird, like when people used to say that, just put some lipstick on with no makeup. I'm like, doesn't it look freaking weird? Like that I have no makeup on and then lipstick, but I feel like with a berry mauve color, it kind of just looks like you were, like you bit your lips or you were eating berries. And so that's the color that I wanted. Whoa, tongue-tied, that I wanted to create, and this color is just that. I'm actually wearing it right now, and I am obsessed not only with the color, but the way that the formulation came out. So it's a matte lipstick, but it's also super creamy and hydrating, and kind of acts like a stain, which makes it really easy to blend, really easy to apply, and really easy to build up. So if I am going for a look that's more polished and put together, I can line my lips, and then I apply this lipstick, and it will give a really opaque, beautiful color on my lips. But then at the same time, like today, I wanted it to be a little more natural looking and a little more balmy. All I did was apply a lip balm on first, and then I put this on, I kind of dotted it around my lips, and a little more. Just kind of rubbed it in, and it rubs in, it blends in so beautifully. And like I said, it really does a great job of almost acting like a stain. Just so you know the name of the color is called Rose to the Occasion. I was not that clever. I did not think of that. The name that I had originally was like way lamer than that. And everyone around me was kind of like, I think we can do better with a name. And so people started brainstorming ideas, including my YouTube manager, and she threw out an idea, and it was this idea, Rose to the Occasion. I was like, done. That's it. That is brilliant. So I love the name. I love the color. I love the formulation. I'm going to have links in the info box. Wow, that was a really big run-on sentence, but I do love all those things. And I will have the links to this product as well as the other girls' colors down below as well, because theirs are beautiful. And if you are interested in checking it out, you can either purchase just my lipstick or you can purchase all of our lipsticks together in a little trio pack. You guys know that I love this color, and it's just exciting to be able to create the exact one that I want and have it be in such a great formulation. So moving on. So I am going to try to pick up the speed because I have seriously so much to talk about. When I was filming yesterday, I said the same thing, and it was so long. Whatever. You can already see the timer. This is a long video. So my next favorite product of the month was the Tarte Highlighter in Exposed, or is the Tarte Highlighter in Exposed. Now, when I first got this in the mail a couple of months ago, I honestly thought I wasn't going to keep it. I thought I was either going to give it away or throw it away because I thought it's too, like, it doesn't actually give that shimmer. Like, that highlight on fleek is barely there. It's not that fleeky. But then, as time went on, I actually fell in love with this because I started to become sick of my other highlighters that are much more on the glittery side of life. And what I love about this highlighter now is the fact that it is not so fleeky. It's much more toned down. It's much more of a gentle shimmer. And I feel like I can wear this. I am wearing this today, by the way, but I did pile it on a lot more today. So if you're like, girl, that is intense. Also, whoa. I might not have done the best job of blending my makeup today. Just ignore it. But I feel like I can wear this on days where I have very light makeup and I don't want it to be like super highlighty. But I can also like pile it on more if I'm going out and I do want more of like a highlight on fleek type look. So I have loved this highlighter and I highly recommend checking it out if you wanted to get into the highlighter world, but you've been a little bit scared because you don't want to look like a disco ball. I think you should check this one out. All right, next beauty product. This is the Marc Jacobs perfume in Honey. Ooh, I have loved this stuff. Now, I really suck at describing smells, and this might turn some of you off. I actually think this smells like a really fruity hairspray. So I hope you don't hate, I mean, whatever, you can hate this perfume, that's fine too. But I don't know if I did it justice, but I actually know I didn't do it justice. I'm so... Anyways, back onto this. What I love about this perfume is it smells so clean, so fresh. Almost every single time I spray it, someone will say something to me along the lines of like, oh my gosh, you smell so good. And they'll bring it up. Now, either they're bringing it up and they're lying to me and I actually smell offensive, or I actually smell really good. And I actually think I smell really good. And I've loved it. And I also love the size of this. I've really fallen in love with perfumes that are little vials like this because pretty much the only scent in my life that is like a steady, tried and true, not planning on ditching it anytime soon is a basic vanilla. I love vanilla scents. I'm not really married to one vanilla. Right now I've been really loving the La Vanilla perfume. But the thing is, around wearing vanilla, I like to build out my scents and try other things mixed with it occasionally. Actually, a lot of the times I'll spray like another scent and vanilla. And this scent with vanilla, pretty much everything with vanilla in my opinion smells amazing. But this smells really, really great. And I also love it because it's so small. It allows me, like I said, to not only test new perfumes when you buy like the little vials like this, so you're not married to one, but on top of that, I can travel, throw it in my purse, bring it wherever, and I always have a little bit of good smelling, don't worry, it's carpet, goodness with me everywhere I go. So that's my cue to move on to the next product. All right, so my next product is my favorite deodorant. Woo! Okay, so I stopped using regular deodorant like a long time ago, like 2 years ago. And that being said, I am not trying to claim that deodorant like is horrible for you. I don't think it's great for you, but I think there are a lot of things on the planet that are not great for you. And I am of the general opinion that because so many things are toxic for our body, you should just pick and choose the things that you can easily change in your life, that you feel comfortable changing in your life to just improve your life, because everything is debatable that it could all be bad for you. I mean, it's like, how long have we been saying, wear sunscreen, and then there's a whole other side of people that believe that sunscreen is is actually really bad for you. But then the people that believe that sunscreen is good for you believe, you know, it prevents skin cancer and it keeps your skin looking young and keeps it healthy and full of nutrients and all of that. So there's two sides to every coin. Every coin. So I'm not trying to claim that deodorant is like horrible for you, but I don't think it's great for you. So now I only reserve regular deodorant for events like VidCon or Playlist, or where I'm gonna be like around lots of people hugging them, because I don't want you to smell my BO. But that being said, this deodorant, let me tell you why I like it. First off, it smells amazing. It does a great job of cutting pretty much any odor, no matter how intense it could be coming from your armpits. It does a great job of cutting it. Now, it doesn't last very long, but I have not tried a single natural deodorant that does last very long. And I've tried about 6 different varieties. So I know it's not that many in the scheme of life. There's, I'm sure, lots of other deodorants. But of the 6 that I've tried, none of them have lasted very long. Jungle Man on Amazon is really good. Probably the best I've tried in terms of longevity, but the texture under your pits when you're applying it is so uncomfortable. And this versus this, that is so smooth to apply, so moisturizing, so easy to use. You can go all the way down through the stick without this ever going dry. And it smells lovely too. So your armpits feel great. They smell lovely. You just have to keep reapplying them or reapplying this because it is a natural deodorant, and that is just the name of the game with natural deodorants. But I highly recommend this if you've had a problem with like texture or the feeling of natural deodorant or the smell, because it really does smell lovely, and I love this. So yeah. I was about to say I got it at Sephora, but then I realized I needed to turn around and re-mention that, as usual, I will try to have links to everything that I can find down below in the info box. So next product, okay, this is the Pacifica Natural Body Care Tuscan Blood Orange Intensely Moisturizing Body Butter with shea and mango butters. Okay. I used this product for years, like years ago. I loved this. This feels amazing. Really what it is it smells amazing. And I'd actually forgotten about it for a long time. And then maybe a couple of weeks ago, it was like in December-ish, I was on Instagram stories and I was just kind of letting them play through, and Andrea's Choice, her Instagram story came on and she had this and then another perfume. But Andrea's like known for really wanting to smell good. That sounds so weird to say. Andrea's known for really wanting to smell good, but she talks about this in her videos a lot, how she'll like coat her body in like smelly lotion and then like douse herself in perfume. And I am also weirdly obsessed with Andrea, so anything that Andrea does, you know I have to do as well. And because I loved this in the past, I was like, I gotta try that again. So I reordered it. I'm almost out. I've got maybe like this much left would be my guess, because it's feeling much lighter. And this stuff is amazing. So not only is it made with ingredients that are much better for your skin, I'm very paranoid about putting moisturizers on my whole body that are not on the natural side of life, because I think your skin is your largest organ and you will eat up whatever you put on. So for the most part, to be honest, I've stuck with coconut oil primarily over the years, but I like to mix it up sometimes, like using Dream Cream from Lush, or now this. And this is so fun to use because the smell is so incredible. To give you a really vivid picture, to me, this smells freaking identical to the Razzmatazz smoothie from Jamba Juice. I haven't gotten that in so long, but I used to get that all the time growing up when I was in high school, and this smells identical to it. So I love this. Feels amazing, full of good ingredients, smells amazing. Thanks, Andrea's Choice. All right, next up, we have essential oils. So I have been a doTERRA essential oil fan for like the last year and a half, something like that. I have a full-on oil collection now, and some of these oils that I bought, I haven't used up as fast, obviously, or I haven't even necessarily like tried very much of at all. And one of those scents for me was the lemon oil from doTERRA. I bought it just because I was like, oh, I'm buying some basic oils. I feel like lemon's a good basic oil. So I bought it and I never used it. And this month I wanted to, I was really like into, not evaporating, what's the word? Diffusing lots of oils everywhere in my house.
Supposed to use distilled water.
All the time. And I was like, I'm going through oil fast. I got to start mixing up these oils. And I thought, I pulled the lemon out. I was like, I'll try lemon. Like, lemon is a clean scent. Lemon would be good to smell, right? I guess. We'll see. So basically, point being, I used the entire bottle of lemon this month because this stuff smells incredible. So not only does it smell lemony, obviously, but it's actually more of like a sweet lemon. And every time I was diffusing this, Dan would comment on how good everything smelled because this lemon smell is amazing. So if you haven't tried the lemon oil from doTERRA, I highly recommend it. Also, if you are just getting into oils, one little thing I want to put out there is that essential oils are not all made equally. Like I used to think, oh, if you get like an essential oil from like Target, which I'm not bashing Target for essential oils, I just don't know the quality that they carry. But a lot of places will have essential oils. You want to really look at the ingredients because it turns out that a lot of companies will produce like a lavender oil when really it's maybe like a jojoba oil or a coconut oil that is scented. I don't know why I put quotes around that too, but it's scented to smell like lavender as opposed to it actually being the oil that was squeezed out of the lavender plant. So doTERRA is an actual like oil company, like it's the oil of the plants. So that's really what you want to look for. Just throwing that out there as a side note. And the second oil that was my favorite, although this is not that new, like I might have even mentioned it in previous videos, is wild orange. And I would diffuse them together. Wild orange, oh my gosh. Wild orange smells amazing. I put wild orange like in my coconut oil all over my whole body. I've been diffusing it like crazy. I will throw it on my bed. Like I just go like shh all over my bed. It smells amazing. It does kind of stain it weird. Someone actually made a comment in one of my lifestyle videos. I don't remember which one. They were like, ew, what's that orange stain on your bed? I was like, that is my doTERRA essential oil in orange. I gotta turn off the heat. It is really hot in here all of a sudden. Moving on, I'm gonna do another product because this is my last beauty product I have in the lineup. And these products are from the company called Way Hair Care. And these have been making, like this brand I feel like has been making a really big splash on social media, and they've really been getting around. And the company, did they send this to me? No, I actually got this from Birchbox, and I started using them in the month of December, and I have fallen in love. Now, here's what I'll say what this shampoo does. Also, side note, I personally have always alternated between high-end products and like drugstore products. I find they work similarly but different. Drugstore products I feel like are always a really great reset for my hair, and higher end products, I feel like I generally, although not with these, which is why they're my favorite, wow, so tongue-tied. I can kind of get a weird buildup in my hair with higher end products sometimes. These do not do that. What these products do, and the reason why I love this line, this is their volumizing shampoo and conditioner, by the way, is because it really does not only do a great job at adding volume, but it adds volume in a way that it feels like my hair is just really clean. Like they didn't put anything in my hair. It's like it's just very clean and fluffy and full. Now, the one thing I will say is it does kind of have, and this sounds really negative, but I don't really mean this in a negative way. It does kind of have like a grandma-y perfume scent to it, like super perfumey, but it leaves your hair smelling amazing for like the next 2 days. If you're like me and you don't wash your hair till like 2 days later, it smells amazing. It feels amazing. My hair is left feeling soft and flowy and full, and definitely very smelly, but in a really good way. So yeah, I've really been liking these. So next up, I've never been a hot tea drinker, but this month I have been drinking the Yogi Calming Tea, and it's been really fun to drink this tea. I've been drinking it in my new mug that my sister got me for Christmas because it's so cute and it's so big, and it's fun to like hold the big mug and feel like nice and cozy when it's been freaking storming in California, which has been really annoying on a side note. But I started drinking this tea because I was at a doctor's office and they had this in the waiting room, and it was pouring rain outside, and I was like, oh, I'm freaking freezing, like I'm just gonna try this tea, whatever, because I've never really loved hot tea. Okay, so my camera just turned off, so I'm not sure exactly where I got cut off. I'm gonna just jump right in. Point being is that I've never really been a huge hot tea fan, but when I tried this tea in the office, I don't know if it just like hit me right where I needed it to hit me after being stuck in the rain or what, but I loved it. So I went to Whole Foods and I bought a little box. It was like $4, and I've been drinking it a fair amount lately, like in the afternoon or at night, especially because, like I said, it's been freezing here, at least for me, and I love it. The blends that are in it, I believe it is a chamomile, lemongrass, gotu kola, no idea what that is, and lavender flower, and it's just a really nice, lovely, it's not too earthy. It's a little bit sweeter, a little bit flowery-er, if that's a word, and it's just been really nice to sip on in the month of January. All right, Is gonna focus? There we go. Next product. This isn't a product. This is actually a machine. And this thing has been crazy to watch this work. So let me just back up a little bit. If you saw my pampering routine video that I think I put up in like December or end of November, I had said in that video that I was working with Venus or Braun, and I'm actually still working with them. They sent over a few of their products from their line. And in that video, I featured the IPL. And in the video, I said, I've just started using it. We'll see how it goes. Side note, while I am working with the brand, this video is not sponsored. I just genuinely, like, I'm so excited with this product. So here it is, the IPL. I'm gonna jump right in. And what this does, it stands for intense pulsing light. So it's not like an at-home laser, but kind of, except it's not. But it shoots like a light out of here. So that's kind of why you might think of a laser, but it's actually called like an intense pulsing light. And I, in that video, used this for the first time. And since then, I've used it maybe 5 or 6 times. Now, on the box, oh, and just so you know what this is, it is a hair removal device. You're supposed to be able to use it pretty much anywhere on your body, but I have opted to only do it on my armpits, mostly because I'm lazy. Like when summer comes, especially now that I'm seeing these results, I will most likely be using it other places and like stop being so lazy. But for now, there's really no reason for me to not be lazy because it's not summer. So on the box, this is like marketed as you have to use it something like 8 to 12 times before you see results. I have only used it about 6 times, maybe 7 at max, and I have only used it on the feather light option, which is right there, because there's like a full strength and then there's a feather one for if you're a wimp like me, and that is the only setting that I have used since I got this product. And guys, I stopped like having to shave like 3 times in. Like this is literally crazy. Like I've been telling all of my friends, you should come borrow this from me because it is amazing how well this works. Like I said, I'm using the low-key feather option and I've used like half the amount of times that they market you have to use for it to work, and it already started working like 3 times ago. It's crazy. I hardly ever have to shave my armpits anymore. The hair is so fine. It's just amazing, and I'm so excited that this brand that I'm working with, I've ended up literally loving the product, because you should totally check this out if you're into hair removal and you're interested in possibly doing at-home hair removal, because I don't think I could be more impressed with this. I am so excited to try it on other places once my lazy streak is gone. So, I'm not gonna kiss you because you've been on my armpits. All right, so now I'm gonna show 2 food items. The first is a smoothie blend-in, like a little protein drink, although it's not just a protein drink, it's really a superfood drink. And this is called Living Fuel's Superberry Original, the super meal you can drink. Woo! Now, this was actually given to me by my mom. My mom always jokes, she's like, what do you give the girl that has everything? Because besides the fact that I've always been this way, like I buy myself my own gifts, I have since, because I've been working since I was 14, so I've done it forever. But now working on YouTube, I get so much stuff sent to me, and so my mom always gives me the most unique, thoughtful gifts, and she knows that I'm really into health. We share that passion together, even though I really think that she's even more into it. She spends like a lot of time researching and trying different things, and she bought me this drink, and she was like, Nikki, frog in my throat. She's like, this drink is so healthy and amazing for you. You have to drink it. Well, I was a little bummed because I saw it was a berry flavor, and I actually don't like things to be berry flavored, especially smoothie blend-ins, because usually I'm just blending whatever the thing is in with berries. Like that's typically my only add-in, or grains. So I'm like, berries on berries. Like I feel like it's gonna taste weird and gross. First off, no, this stuff has ended up being amazing. Dan and I are both obsessed with it. It tastes so good, even with just berries. I'll blend this in with strawberries and blueberries, and that is it, and water, obviously, and then this, and it is so good. And what's cool is these are all of the ingredients, and they put it into categories. They've got a superfoods categories, enzymes, probiotics, amino acids, herbs, antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals. And then underneath each of those categories, they list all of the ingredients. And then over here, they have, the nutritional fact breakdown. So in one scoop, oh, just kidding, it's 2 scoops. I thought it was 1 scoop the whole time. You will be getting 26 grams of protein. And, you have other things, but you don't have much sugar in here. Hardly any, and a good amount of fiber, and just lots of good for you ingredients. So if you are on the hunt for a new smoothie add-in that's really healthful, and maybe you've been eating a lot of junk food lately, like myself, this is really great because it allows you to get in some more nutrients if your diet has been lacking. So Thanks, Mom. All right, now on the complete opposite side of the spectrum, on the unhealthy side of the spectrum, I actually got these at Costco like a week ago, so right at the end of January, but I'm putting these in because I wanted to put one yummy treat, and these have been a hit, not only for myself, but we actually had some relatives over on the weekend, and when they came over, we had like snacks and food out and stuff, and my family came over as well, like my direct family, like my dad, my mom, my siblings, and they whipped this out of the cupboard, and they all really liked it, and these are pretzel crisps in the dark chocolate crunch flavor, just like it sounds. They're thin little pretzels dipped in dark chocolate, and it's really good, my friends. It's still junk food. It's junk food. But, you know, I always say that if you're going to make a bad decision, like I feel this way about alcohol too, just make the best bad decision you can. Like when I do drink alcohol, I reach for the red wine. Now that's also partially because I don't really like alcohol. So if I'm going to drink it for the feeling, but I don't like the taste, I'm obviously going to reach for the healthiest one. But I feel the same way about junk. It's like, all right, let's get some dark chocolate. I feel like I'm talking myself out of something that like, it's just not good for you. But these are so yummy and they're selling them at Costco right now. And if you're looking for a treat to bring into your house, I like to typically only keep like one treat in the house at a time, or I'll freeze things. It's really good, really, really good. Okay, so this last item is actually multiple items. It's kind of a category, and that is mood lighting. Ooh, I'm burping, cute. Anyways, it's mood lighting or ambient lighting. I have always been really into decorating with light. Like it's something that I've just always liked to do. I have twinkle lights all up around my house. I've had them around every place I've ever lived in and I love them. But recently I've expanded into other ways to light things. I've actually been pinning on Pinterest tons of cool like different ways to light and decorate with light. But currently the lighting that I am loving, so the first thing I'm gonna show you is a candle, which I know is not unique or different. I just really like this candle and it smells amazing. And I found this line actually at Whole Foods. And the candles, I know I just freaking love Whole Foods. This is from a brand called Enlightened Candles, Arizona. And it's expensive because it's Whole Foods, but it's not crazy. I think this was like $11.50. And I've gotten a lot of burn time out of it. It is a non-GMO soy wax. And the smell, this one's called Infatuation. Guys, oh my gosh. It smells very tropically. If you have a Whole Foods near you, I highly recommend finding out if they carry these candles and going in and smelling this scent because it smells so, so good. And for the bathroom, I think that this is an amazing scent. I don't like putting, I've said this before, like warm scents in the bathroom, like vanilla or anything like just warm smelling because I feel like if someone takes a poop, it mixes with the poop and it really smells bad. But with fruity smells or like tropically smells, you don't have that problem. So I love this candle, but then also the other lighting elements that I've been loving. The first one is this star canister that I got at Target a couple of years ago. And when I was doing the clean out around my house, I rediscovered this piece and I realized like this needs to be front and center because this is beautiful. I love lighting this at night and it gives off just little stars all around it and it's just so beautiful. The next lighting piece I rediscovered in my clean out was this glass pineapple. This used to be front and center in our other house that we lived in before moving here. And it was always in the background of my videos when I'd be filming in my office. And I kind of just forgot about it, like in the clutter and the chaos and the messiness of everything, which is part of what happens when you don't when you have too much crap in your house and you don't purge or clean. You forget about things, at least I do. And I kind of forgot about this and I pulled it out and I moved it into my bathroom and it is just beautiful. Dan loves it. I love it. It's the perfect combination of like beautiful and super cute. And it's also workable because it creates light. So sitting in a bath at night and having that burning is amazing. And then the last thing is this magic crystal ball diffuser that I also found at Whole Foods, but I've also found pretty much the exact same thing online on Amazon. So that will also be linked down below because I feel like this is the thing that people are going to freak out about. It's right back there. I call it a magic crystal ball because it totally reminds me of the emoji. That's the magic crystal ball with all the twinkles. It changes color and it diffuses oils. So I have been obsessed with it since I got it maybe like 2 months ago. And I just love decorating with light, guys. It's really been fun to make that. I don't know. I just like it. I feel like I'm trying to make some profound tangent that doesn't exist. I just like it. So, okay, so my next favorite is my Bible app, but not like, okay, so it just says Holy Bible and then it says Bible and you click on it. So it's by the company called YouVersion and it's not just the app. It's actually a specific element of the map of the app, and that is the Audible element. So every day when you click into the app, there is stuff on the homepage where it's got like the verse of the day. You have the verse of the day image, and then you have different studies that you can do. So what I like to do is I go into the verse of the day, but then right here there's a little play button, and when you click that play button, this is what happens. Whoa, tongue tied.
This is the way God put it. They found grace out in the desert. These people who survived the killing, Israel, out looking for a place to rest, met God out looking for them.
So basically, my favorite thing to do this month has been going in and pressing play on the Bible app and just letting it play, because they've recorded the entire Bible, and I really like the reading from this guy, and it's free. And so what I've been doing is sometimes in the morning, like this morning for about a half hour, when our alarm went off, I rolled over, pressed play, and Dan and I just laid in bed and we cuddled and we listened to the Bible for a half hour. Or yesterday when I was doing my makeup, I had my Bible playing for about 40 minutes, and it's really, really amazing. And the reason why I started doing that is because I knew that that existed, but I wasn't as into it. But I had a stressful experience happen maybe 2 weeks ago where at the end of the night, I literally was like, how am I even going to go to sleep? Like I was so stressed, and my brain couldn't stop thinking and planning and trying to figure out how to fix this. And so I decided to press play on the Bible app, and it was around 11:30 at night. And I ended up going into this like meditative like trance where I was not asleep, but I wasn't awake, and I just listened to the Bible for about an hour and a half, maybe a little longer than that. And I felt so much peace. It was really weird. I've never had this experience ever at all. And I was actually talking to Emily Olsen about that, who is a YouTuber here on YouTube as well, if you don't know who she is. And I was talking to her about this, and she was like, I'm pretty sure that that's what they're talking about when they say the peace that passes all understanding. Like, I think that's what you just experienced. And I thought about it, and I'm like, that's definitely what I experienced, because I've never had that before, where I felt like someone just gave me like a little peace pill, and all of a sudden I felt at peace, and I was just like basking in the Bible, as strange as that sounds. So listening to my Bible app has definitely been a huge favorite for me in January as well. Okay, so clothing items. I feel like this is the longest favorites video ever, but this is what you get because I haven't done a favorites video in so long. I had so many things that I just wanted to share with you guys. So the first thing is a brand. It's actually two separate brands that I'm going to mention because I have a couple pieces from each of them. One is the brand Zella. I discovered them back in December, and I am obsessed. If you are a big activewear, yoga wear type person, I highly recommend you check out Zella online. I think they have their own website, but I bought all of their pieces through Nordstrom. They're super well made, super unique pieces, and I don't feel like I've seen their stuff from other brands. I love the vest that I bought from them, although I feel like I'm twins with my parents now, like rocking the vest. They've always been big vest people, and I've kind of always thought it was a little weird, but now apparently I'm a vest person too, because I have been loving wearing this Zella vest. And I've also really been loving wearing the green sweats that I got from them. Everywhere I go, people will ask me, like, where'd you get these sweats? They're so unique. Like, they fit really unique. They're super comfy, super soft, and I love them. And then the first Zella piece that I brought from them were their blue yoga pants. When I saw these, they were actually on sale on Nordstrom, and I instantly was like, I think I'm literally gonna love these pants. Like, they just looked so soft and so amazing, and I got them home and they did not disappoint at all. And when I put them on, Dan like instantly fell in love with them too. He was like, dude, those are so cool. I was like, I know. So Zella is my first favorite clothing brand. My second favorite clothing brand of the month is called Blank NYC. And they're a New York City-based company, just like the name sounds, and their clothes are super cool, and they do have a very New York-y vibe. And I got this green jacket from them mostly because I saw Nicole Guerrero constantly wearing green long jackets everywhere, and I just wanted to be like her because I'm also weirdly obsessed with her. And when I saw her a lot towards the end of the year for the release of our lashes at Walgreens, she was wearing that jacket a lot, and I was like, I really want that jacket. And when I found it on Blank NYC, I bought it immediately, fell in love. But I also bought a couple of other pieces from the brand as well. I bought some black overalls from them, and they're just a really cool line. So I really like them as well. Two other random clothing pieces that I have been loving. One, this pair of shoes from Vans. Dude, how cool are these shoes? once again, I feel like I've said this like 12 times in this video, but I'm telling the truth with all these pieces. Every time I wore these shoes, I got stopped like everywhere. People would be like, wow, your shoes are so cool. And it's because they are so cool. They've got like a fake leather, a fake suede. I keep saying fake. I actually don't know. I'm just assuming it's all fake. A fake like sheepskin type of situation on the inside, kind of like an Ugg boot. And they're just super cool. And then the laces are kind of like ropey. They kind of are like little mini ropes, and they're just super cool, super wintry feeling, very mountainy feeling, and I've loved wearing these with like leggings and a long flannel and my Zella vest. That's actually the exact outfit that I wore the other day, but I've loved them so much. I don't know if you're able to buy them anywhere anymore. I think they were a short-term collaboration, but they're just, I really love them. And then the last clothing piece that I have also been obsessing over is this Wild Fox jumper. And this is just, I think, so cool. I love floral prints. You would know that if you've been following my channel for a long time, that I just do. I love floral prints. And I think the coloring, even with this like this bubblegum pink in the mix, just makes this so fun. And having the stripes, it's kind of like varsity, like sports team, except not. I don't know. I just think it's really cool. Super comfy, per the usual for Wild Fox apparel, and I've just been loving it. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you about 2 shows that I have been watching on Netflix this month. Actually, one of them I already watched the whole way through, and the second time I'm watching through right now. So, and this disclaimer goes the same way, like for the disclaimer that I gave in the beginning for my favorite YouTuber. Just because I love a show or a movie or something does not mean that I agree. Oh, here comes Dan. What's up, homie?
What's up? You talking about Netflix?
I'm talking about Netflix. Are you jumping in on this, or are you just coming to tell me something?
Are we gonna go on a lunch date?
Oh, shoot. Yes.
We are? What time?
Okay, so as I was saying, just because I talk about a TV show or a movie or a podcast or anything does not mean that I support every single thing that comes out of that person's mouth or is in that person's TV show or movie or whatever. So, Dan's walking by me if you hear noise. So that being said, the first show that I watched this month all the way through that I really enjoyed was by CNN, and it's a docu-series called The 80s. Now, if you didn't know, CNN has done, this is their 3rd series. I don't know why I held up 2 fingers, it's 3. This is their 3rd series in the lineup of their like documentary decade series type situation. So they started off with the 60s, which I watched all the way through like twice. Then they did the 70s, which I think I also watched all the way through again twice. And now they have done the 80s. And first thing that I have to say is that they are really great filmmakers. Like CNN does a really great job of just delivering content and media in a really like consumable way. Like it's very enjoyable to watch, and I like a lot of the footage that they pull up. So I guess I didn't explain anything. Basically what it is, like I said, a documentary series, and the way that they break down their series, all of them, the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, is versus going in chronological order, they cover topics and then go in chronological order. So one episode, for example, in the 70s is all about serial killers. So they talk about serial killing because that was a pivotal like thing that was happening in the 70s. And then in that episode, they talk about through the 70s through the lens of talking about serial killers. So they do that in all of their episodes or all of their series. It might be like, oh, this episode is all about music through the entire 80s or whatever, so on and so forth. And they do that in all of the decades. Now, the reason why I say I don't agree with all of it is because history was my favorite subject growing up from like, actually not growing up, from like 6th grade on is when I really fell in love with history. And I feel like history, especially done in that format, it's media. It's someone else's interpretation. Someone else has done their research, where are people getting their sources from? And then they're digesting it, writing it, producing it, and putting it out there. So one thing that I think is good to note with all forms of media is, and maybe this is just because I'm a weird homeschooled kid, which is highly probable, but I don't feel like there is such a thing as any unbiased media. I don't think it exists because it's not an attack on media or a person for that matter. It's the fact that there is a person behind the wheel driving it, and or multiple people, and it's all through their views and their life experiences. So there were certain things in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, the way that they interpreted or delivered history or the news clips that they chose to pull, that I didn't really agree with. But in general, I find these series so fascinating and so interesting and thought-provoking. And if you love history, I highly recommend you check it out. If you don't love history and you wish you liked history more, I highly recommend you check it out, because I think they do a great job of making history, painting history much more cinematically, if that's the right word, and making it easy to digest, and it gets you very excited and amped about the stories that they're telling. So plus Tom Hanks is an executive producer in the show, so if you love Tom Hanks, I just got chills even thinking about Tom Hanks. I love him so much. I don't know what his role is exactly, but I feel like he's probably got to be part of the reason why the show is done so well. So I highly recommend checking that out. So the next show on Netflix that we are watching through, and we are not even close to being done, but I have seen it in the past, is Friends. And I have to say the same thing about eating the fish spit out of the bones. Friends is like a very highly sexualized show. Like, Dan and I will be watching it, we're like, dang, these people get around, and it's like definitely a main plot of the show is the sexualization of the friends and who they're dating and whatever. But not that that's that big of a deal, but in general for me with the show, sometimes like when things are like, there's a lot of sexuality in a show, I'm just like, can we just talk about something else? Like, does it have to all be about sexuality? But that being said, the reason why I enjoy the show is, one, I actually think that there is a plot behind Friends. Like, even though there might be some like sillier moments or maybe a little too much sexuality for my like, you know, comfort and enjoyment, in general, there's a plot behind it that's kind of interesting to follow, like the relationships and how the friends get together. And really, the real number one reason why I like the show is I think that that ensemble and that cast did a really great job just playing together. I think that no one in that cast, and this isn't a slam on them, I actually think it's really what makes it beautiful. I don't think anyone in that cast is just like this huge heavyweight off by themselves and everyone else could have just gone away and it would have been fine. I feel like they really worked as a team to support and bring out the best in each other as actors and as characters, and I love it. I think if I have to pick my favorite character, I think I would say Phoebe. I do think that she is brilliant. And here's the thing too, when I see shows, scripted content, my head automatically goes towards like picturing what it was like on paper when it was just a script before they brought it to life. And that's what I find this show most brilliant, is that like, oh, and by the way, I watch all TV with captions on. This is something my parents do too. Every TV, not just like foreign films or languages that I don't understand. I watch all TV with captions on because I really want to make sure I'm getting the language, like what's going on. And when I watch this show, I just think like, man, some of these lines on paper would have been like hard to understand, like how this really played. Like, is this going to be really weird or corny? And I don't want to say the way they played it all, because I do think that acting, not that I'm a real actress, but is like immersing, is part of, whoa, tongue-tied, immersing? Is that a word? Yourself into the character and the story. But I think the way that they delivered a lot of these lines and the way that they played off of each other and connected is just really great. So that's the reason why I'm liking going through Friends. I'm only on season 3 of 10 seasons, and I literally can't believe it, because I'm like, how much more is going to happen in this show? Like, I thought I saw it all the way through, but I'm beginning to doubt myself, because I'm like, what is even else gonna happen? So much has happened. So there's that. All right, guys, so now I'm gonna move on to my favorite new habit of the month, and that is having money meetings with Dan. So let me back up. A couple of things that you should know. First thing is the way that Dan and I work in our marriage, and we have the whole time, like even from the beginning when we were both going off to do jobs, like we still both work, but we're at home now. So it's kind of the dynamics have changed. But even when we were both going away from our houses to work our jobs, Dan has pretty much always handled the finances. I've never had the desire to, or felt like it's my inclination to really manage the bank accounts. And Dan has a really logical, like thought out, detailed perspective. So Dan has always been the one that has really handled and managed our bank accounts. And the way that it's gone pretty much our whole marriage is he handles it, I'm aware of it, but there's always been little, like fights or tension throughout the course of our marriage of like when sometimes the topic of money would be brought up. And sometimes when he would bring it up, I would feel like, what, why are you bringing this up now? Like now's the last time I want to talk about money. Like I'm working on something, like don't distract me with that. Especially since I have been on YouTube, because so much of being on YouTube, like it's kind of this weird trip. It's like I'm being creative and trying to figure out the projects that I want to make and the messages that I want to put out and connecting with you guys, but then I'm also making money through this, and that side of it is much less, it's not as fun, like having to have the communication with the brands, like having to go back and forth over money or contracts, basically just like the businessy side of any business. It's not as fun and it can kind of suck the life out of me. And we've had a couple times where I'm just like, why are you bringing this up now? I'm literally repeating myself, but like, why are you bringing this up now? I don't want to talk about this now. And I was watching Marie Forleo here on YouTube, which if you don't know who Marie Forleo is, I also highly recommend checking her out. And she did an interview with this guy who's an author. I think he wrote that book, like Automatic Millionaire. One of those books that's like how to be a millionaire in 4 days. Not that, I'm really downplaying it. But she was interviewing this guy, and in his interview, he said that the best advice that he could give couples would be to set aside a money meeting. You decide the cadence and, whether it's every week, every 2 weeks, once a month, whatever, but you actually set the date and the time in your calendar. And he even recommends like going out, getting out of your house, or setting a specific place in the house. And that is the time that you talk about money. And in that money meeting, you also decide the boundaries for your money conversations. Like, okay, let's get on the same page and let's get it on paper. So Dan and I have decided to do bi-weekly money meetings. So for the month of January, we had 2 meetings. And in those meetings, we set up our boundaries, our personal boundaries decided to be, I was going to present with him, like, how about no money talks in bed, no money talks in the shower. And like, those are places I want to keep separate. And he ended up coming back to me. He's like, dude, what about like no money talks ever, except for at our meetings? I was like, you'd be down with that? And he was like, well, yeah, now that I know we have these set times, there's just not many things I'm going to need to talk about with you in between those cadences of those meetings. And he's like, obviously we have to have it open where like, if I need to get clarification with you on something, on a deal that you're executing, or Vanessa, who's my manager, has emailed something that needs to be signed and you need to look at it, that's different. He's like, but for the most part, I can keep all money talk off the table until those meetings, and no money talk in bed, showers, obviously any of that. So it was really cool to come to an agreement together. Obviously we're like baby novices, newbies to this whole concept, which is kind of sad because we're 9 years into being married in like a couple weeks. But, you're always learning, you're always growing, and it feels amazing. Like both of our meetings this month and just money, the concept of money in general, was so much less stressful all month because we had come to an agreement and we had boundaries around it. And that guy in that interview with Marie actually said that. He said that it's very common for, in a couple, one person to really be the one that's handling the money, and then for the other one to frequently feel ambushed by the conversation of money, because he just said that that's just a typical relationship pattern, which also made me feel better because I was like, oh, it's not just me. And my mom had told me that before, that like in their marriage, it's flipped. My mom handles all of the bank account stuff and updating of the bills and all of that, and my dad is the one that's working, although they both work also because my mom has her business. Don't freak its foe. But yeah, they're flipped in that sense. And my dad is much more like the creative spirit that's like, I don't want to talk about money right now. So I'm definitely like that. And she had said that their marriage had also had that kind of like him feeling ambushed. So apparently it's a really common thing. So having money meetings for us has been really awesome. And I also took the initiative to make that money meeting also just kind of be like an order of business meeting. So that's when we not only talk about money, but I had some other things that I wanted to bring up with him that I chose for us to bring up and execute in those meetings. One thing has been calendars. Dan has had a hard time switching to a digital calendar. I've really been running our calendar since he started working from home and doing NASCAR stuff, because before he didn't really need to run a calendar. His job was to get up and go to work in the morning and then come home from work, and we don't have kids. But now his job changes every single day, whether it's working with me or doing racing stuff. So during those money meetings, let me back up. That's something that's overwhelming for him, is the thought of really managing and running a calendar for me, it's not as overwhelming. So I've taken those money meetings, we go over money, we do all of that. But then I also bring up like my orders of business, like, hey, something else I wanted to go over and help you with. And then he's already prepared. He's in that place, ready to tackle it. And we just do it. So that has been a really awesome experience for me this month. So, all right. So this is probably the longest video I've ever put up on my main channel, possibly now, other than the videos where I've talked about my body injuries and my pain, which I think all live on my vlog channel. I don't even think they're on this channel. So there's a lot of blabbering, but I hope you guys are liking longer videos. Let me know what you think. So the last thing that I want to talk about in this video is, like I said at the beginning, kind of like my contemplation of the month, my thought of the month, aside from all the How to Be Happy January stuff. And that is the concept of judgment. I don't know about how you guys feel, but for me, things have just felt very overwhelming, the amount of anger that people have been feeling in the US and in the rest of the world, and they're especially vocal about it online. And a lot of the stuff that's just been going on, there's been a lot of anger, and a lot of people I feel like have been feeling very judged or feeling very attacked. I know that I have felt that at certain points. I know that other friends of mine have felt that at certain points, and I think everybody on the internet has definitely felt that because people love to spew their judgment and thoughts at you on the internet. But that being said, where this thought is really going is that I have spent a lot of time thinking in my head this month, like, if I could just control like what goes out, what I say, what shows up on the internet, how my conversations with people go, my text messages with people, then I can control how they feel or what they think of me. And my therapist has said this to me before, but I think I'm really just starting to realize it, although I feel like life is about this cadence of like you go in and out of realizing things. But I feel like I'm realizing things with Kylie Jenner, and that thing is you can't control how people think. Even if you put on your best behavior, you try to say your most sensitive words, you try to really control the emotion of the conversation, you don't know how other people are going to interpret what you're saying or doing. And I should have already learned this lesson because I've had some pretty like intense things that kind of revolve around this concept happen to me in my past, where it should have been very like clear to me at that point, like, oh, you really can't control what people think. But apparently it's not, and you have to learn these lessons over and over. But what all of this has made me think, besides the fact that I really need to grapple with and sit with and be okay with the fact that I can't control what people think about me or how they feel towards me. But on top of that, and I've said this before, it's made me think about my own judgment towards other people. I haven't liked that through the month, or the last few months, as I've felt defensive over myself, over like how I've affected other people, and then getting defensive on what I really said or did or whatever, I've realized how often am I getting uncomfortable at what other people are doing or saying and then judging them. Let me tell you, it's a lot. I judge people and don't act like Jesus a lot more than I'm like happy or comfortable saying. Not that I should be happy or comfortable with any of it, but that's where my head has been a lot. When I get defensive towards other people, thinking about myself, and I've said this before in the concept or in the world of bullying. I feel like a lot of us like to talk about, bullying and how horrible bullying is, and the bullying, and it needs to stop. But then I have to look at myself and go, have I ever said something that could have been kind of intimidating or bullying or judgmental of someone else? And really examining that and not just brushing over because I know what my intentions are, because yes, intentions count because God sees your heart, but also I just think the point of all of this tangent is to say, one, it's made me look at myself and wonder, how often am I judging or assuming with other people, or getting angry or upset at other people because of a preconceived judgment or idea I have that they're making about me? But on top of that, what I think it really all comes back down to is grace. Is that I need to get better and want to get better at having grace towards other people, just like how God has shown me grace. And I think that if I can get better at showing grace and paying attention to my own stuff and not looking at other people people's stuff so much, both in the form of judgment and also comparison, like all of that. And if I can just have more grace for them, I think that I'm going to have more grace for myself. And I think that life is a lot lighter and happier when you're not aggressively judging other people. I feel like I have, like, my thoughts are just flying in 12 different directions. Point being, I got my feelings hurt and my defenses were up a lot in the last month and the last few months from being judged by other people. But it's really made me realize that I need to be aware of and make sure that I am not actively judging other people, and that I really, more important than that, am giving grace to other people and letting people be where they're at in their journey. So I don't know if any of that made any sense, but I had a lot that I wanted to share with you guys and talk to you guys about, and I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section if you actually even made it all the way to the end, because I'm really genuinely curious as to how many people in the population are going to make it to the end of this video. Just curious. So that brings us to the end. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you did like it. That really helps me know what kind of videos you like. And it also is really great encouragement for me when I'm making my videos. Like, look at that, they liked the video. Oh, and the very last thing, wow, I feel so dumb. I didn't even shout this out. My last video was my music video that I put up, and it was a cover of So Small. And if you didn't see it already, please go watch that video and share it with your friends and your family if you feel compelled, because we are trying to raise money for the Dream Center to put 2 women through their rehabilitation program this year. I am really passionate about fighting human trafficking. If you didn't know that about me and about my channel, that will pretty much always be the cause that comes up on my channel that we work to raise money for together. And to those of you that have, and to those of you that donated, thank you. I know you're not doing it for me, but I really appreciate it so, so much. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed already, and be sure to click that notification button, and be sure to enter the giveaway in the info box down below, and I will see you all hopefully very, very soon with another video. And Bowser says bye too. He's standing here. So Bowser, come here. Sister Bowser. Come here. Bowser says bye. Say bye, Bowser. Oh. Me and my dog. Chilling. Just chilling. Okay, I'm gonna let him go.